It's very much my great honor to welcome you here and to open today's timely conference on behalf of Germany as chair country of the Khartoum process. And I think it's a key moment to be together.
The world is reaching the tipping point beyond which climate change may become irreversible. This meeting occurs at a very critical time where global solidarity and shared responsibility is no longer the choice, but a central philosophy for governance of global affairs.
So I appreciate very much that all of you have come to Berlin to have this important dialogue between countries of the European Union, the Horn of Africa region, and countries of West Africa and North Africa.
The Khartoum process is a perfect platform, bringing not only the countries and the specificities of these countries together, the context of these countries, but also civil society, international organizations who can have a kind of stakeholder view on all these challenges. I think the Khartoum process has demonstrated that it's ready to take up this issue. We see that there is perspective that the issue of climate mobility will be on the agenda of international fora more and more.
Important angles here are data collection and analysis, the situation of internally displaced people, the development of legal and policy frameworks, and adaptation and resilience measures. And we aim to take this discussion forward in very concrete ways.
We cover different regions, we live in different places, but the elements such as climate change affects all of us, perhaps not exactly in the same way, but I think it will be an opportunity also to learn what is happening and how others are approaching this multi-faced challenge that we are having.
Representing here the secretariat of both processes, I have to say that I'm very honored that these two dialogues that already accompany the cooperation between Europe and Africa already for some years are platform that can evolve and accompany the evolution of the discussions and the priorities take up in a very fast and innovative way the ever-evolving international agendas.
This time we were focusing also on the gender aspects, on gender-sensitive policies.
I think it's very important to include a strong gender component in these discussions because we know that migrant women and girls make up approximately half of all international migrants, and they make up a significant proportion of internally displaced people. And hence it is important to understand and address the gender dimensions of movement, both forced movement but also voluntary movement, so that policies and practices, programs and services are designed in a gender-responsive and human rights-based manner.
COP27 was the first COP to ever stress the linkages between climate change and human mobility. But also a historic decision was adopted on new funding arrangements and the establishment of a fund to address loss and damage in the countries that are specifically vulnerable to the adverse effects of climate change.
The African Union has established what is called the Africa Climate Mobility Initiative in order to be able to build the capacity of the AU member states on responding to climate-induced mobility, to respond to displacements in a more coherent way across the continent, but also to build data and information.
I have heard people saying we have to capitalize on the potential of migration or of movements. This is also in terms of women, in terms of young people, and to learn from other countries who are living with migration. Example was taken from the Gulf countries. So I think this whole view over everything has convinced me that we have chosen the right topic.